I was interested in relaxing and the spiritual aspect of relaxing for a long time. So when I was a young man, I wasn't very well, and I was chronically sick. So I found that when I was tense and when I was stressed, it would make my illness work. Sorry, not work, it didn't make it work, it made it worse. So I was really interested in what I could do to relax and to let go. And so I studied for a long time meditation. I studied lots of Eastern philosophies, Buddhism and Taoism. So I'd meditate every day, I'd do Tai Chi every day to try and feel better and to try and relax. To the point where after years, which is my wife Gaia and myself, we set up a retreat centre in Italy to help other people relax, to help teach other people to relax and let go. And it was whilst we were starting to teach those weeks that we found that something that we were saying ourselves to relax, which was fuck it, that profanity, was actually helping us to relax and let go as much as a lot of the techniques that we were using, the relaxation techniques, the meditations. So it was weird. It's like this profanity that's a kind of dirty part of our culture, something that we think we shouldn't be using. Not only can we use to help us, but it can be a spiritual thing. So it was an amazing realization that to swear could be a spiritual thing. Well, the F word, it has power anyway in our language. It's one of the few words that are regarded as a little bit taboo. In the UK and plenty of countries around the world, we can't say the F word fully on the radio, on television. So it has a power in itself, which is one thing, which is taboo. This phrase in particular, fuck it, actually is very rare in English because I think it points to the problem that most of us have, which is that we take things too seriously. So when you say fuck it, you're kind of pointing at and implying that the things that we're worrying about and are stressed about actually aren't so important. And that's kind of what we do. So I think most of our problems arise from taking things too seriously, from believing that everything is so important. And it's a kind of irony, or it's a cosmic joke in a way, that we are scared that life is meaningless, and that we therefore then accumulate things in our lives that add meaning to our lives. As we're adults, we kind of keep accumulating things. We do things that we think matter. We do more and more things to create purpose in our lives. And yet it's all these meaningful things around us that start to create pain, because we feel pain when we fear that we're going to lose those things that matter. So the idea here is that when we say fuck it, we kind of relax around the things that are mattering too much, that are meaning too much, when our lives are too meaningful. So fuck it is kind of unique in English, in that it does point at what I think is the main problem. We're taking things too seriously and too many things matter too much. So I tell a story about when I was doing a talk in London in 2012, where as I was just about to go up on stage and I was going to the toilet, I actually missed, and I got a stain on my trousers, and I had very light trousers on. So I tell this story. It's an embarrassing story to tell, but I tell it, and I tell it because I went through a process in those few minutes before I was due to go on stage in front of 1,000 people that was really a fuck it process, and I was trying out different ways to work with it. So I had different options basically. So I was clearly panicking. I had a stain on my trousers. I was about to stand in front of so many people, and so the first thing that I thought I could do was say fuck it. It doesn't matter so much. I can go up on stage and I can talk to everybody with my head held high and not worry about it, because that's the kind of core meaning of fuck it for me, that things don't matter so much. That yes, I care less what others think of me. Most of us are held back by this fear of what other people will think of us. So that's the first thing I tried, which was fuck it, it doesn't matter, I'll go up on stage. But that didn't work. The second thing I tried which we can do when things are very difficult, is to say fuck it, I'm off, I'm getting out of here. So if a situation is difficult, if a job is difficult, if a relationship is difficult, sometimes we have to get out of them. So that was a way to use fuck it. But that wouldn't work because I didn't want to let anybody down in that situation. I might occasionally escape from situations that I really don't want to be in, even if I do let people down. But in that situation, I decided I couldn't do that. I couldn't run away from that situation. It was too big. So I used the third option, which is using fuck it to kind of give in. And this is a very spiritual application of this idea, a very spiritual thing to do, and we talk a lot about in Buddhism, which is to kind of give in to a situation, to accept the situation as it is, to trust that things are going to work out. It's a kind of giving up of our normal rational approach to dealing with things. We attempt to control everything and make things work, and we kind of push everything. We try to achieve things in our lives, we set goals, we try to make things happen all the time. This is kind of the opposite of that, especially in a situation where we can't control things. It really has gone out of our control. We kind of give up and sit back and kind of trust that it's going to work out. And for me, fuck it helps with that. It's like, fuck it, I can't do anything here to make it work. I give up. Yes, in Germany, what's great is that the publishers kept the expression fuck it. It's been translated into 22 languages now. In a lot of countries, the fuck it bit isn't kept. So I really like that that's been kept. And the idea, the quick idea of fuck it, the reason I think it's worked so well in a lot of places around the world is that the first thing is it's really quick. I think people understand when they hear that fuck it can be a therapy, that fuck it can be spiritual, that fuck it can help you be happy. They understand it pretty much straight away. I then take a book or two books to explain it in full, or talks or retreats. We run a lot of retreats, so I use those retreats to explain it more fully. But we kind of get it straight away, which is that, again, it's pointing to this kind of unique quality of fuck it, and it's the unique predicament we face. It is a kind of ironic aspect of our lives that we're always trying to do more stuff to find happiness, but our journey to try and find happiness out there, the constant striving, the constantly doing more, the constantly having more things that matter, always takes us out of ourselves and also creates the potential for pain. So the idea is to let go of that attachment to stuff, and this is a very Buddhist idea, to let go and to relax more, to say that it doesn't matter so much, because the truth is we're forcing everything to matter too much. So we say it doesn't matter so much in the grand scheme of things. And the truth is it doesn't matter so much in the grand scheme of things. When most of the things that we worry about, or that we get stressed about, or that we feel pain around, in 6 months' time they matter less. In a year we might not even remember them. In 10 years it's very likely to have gone, that thing we're worrying about. Clearly there are some things that in 10 years' time we will still be thinking about, but generally the things that we worry about in 10 years' time will be gone. In 100 years' time, I guarantee you won't be worrying about it. And that's kind of the idea. It taps us in to a realization that the kind of stuff that we're stressing over, and in the end stress makes us sick. So the stuff that we're stressing over and worrying about and concerned about, and we're like this, it doesn't matter so much. And that creates, saying fuck it and realizing that creates an instant relaxation. And relaxation, as well as being good for our health, it's more pleasant to be relaxed than to be tense and stressed. So it's about 10 years ago that we realised that this profanity in our language that people use and people have dismissed was actually therapeutic and could be spiritual as well. So our kind of gift to everybody is this little, it's like a kind of a pearl. It's a jewel in the kind of messy rubbish of everyday life, of modern culture. So we tend to think that the kind of swear words and the way things are done now is kind of messy and dirty. But in that mess, in that dirtiness of modern culture, there is this kind of little jewel which allows us to relax and to release. So the big idea here is that this one phrase, fuck it, when we're facing pain, when we're feeling too stressed, when we're caught up in the stuff that's making us, yes, stressed and also sick, that we can kind of, just this one phrase, we can use it to let go and to realise that really things don't matter so much as we think they do, and they certainly don't matter so much in the big and grand scheme of things. So this was our realisation, and this is our gift. If we've got one gift to the world, it's this gift of this one phrase that really can help us relax, release, let go, and actually go with the flow. This is about going with the flow of life, dropping back into life and trusting that life will work out if we can just relax a little bit more. Thank you.